Hello, everybody. This is Martin John. Yesterday, I had someone let me know that my audio was a little wonky. He said he fixed it by restarting or downloading the app again or something. So I did the same. I downloaded the app again. So hopefully, if there are any issues on your end, and hopefully I fixed that timing issue so that I can get people for an actual 15 minutes. Usually I want people to be on for 15 minutes so we can talk, but I've been feeling a little pressed for time because you only get like 11 and a half or 12. I think there's like 3 minutes off. I don't know what that is, but maybe that cleared up. So this is Tao of the Day, and if you're familiar with Tao of the Day, you can step up and pick a number between 1 and 81. For those of you that are new to Tao of the Day, the Tao Te Ching is the text that we're referencing, and the Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written presumably by Lao Tzu. Again, I don't go getting all kind of mucked up about the history of it. I just look at the text as it is in this moment, and I don't have to know the stories of everything. I always think that the whys and the becauses really kind of get us off track of what it is we're experiencing right now. This experience right now is ours, no matter what it is that we're experiencing. It's not someone else's. So if someone else is doing something, they're having an experience of their own. And just like when we start to fill in the whys and the becauses, really we're just making shit up. We're making things up because we don't really know why. We don't really know why we're alive, right? We don't really know why we have consciousness. We don't really know why all of these things. And so trying to kind of get lost in the weeds of things is just a silly thing to do sometimes. Like, of course, it's fun. We're humans, and we like the human experience, and we like to dive into all of this manifestation. But that's not really what life is, right? Life is deeper experiences. Every experience that we have from moment to moment, and what the Tao Te Ching helps us do is embrace this moment, for one, but also embrace our experience. So we always talk about the idea of the master being present with themselves, right? The master not changing herself for the external experience that she's having, right? So the master allows things to pass and allows and yields to things that are happening rather than trying to force things to be her way. So if you have a number between 1 and 81 you'd like to read together, I would love to have you up. Now, I look at these like oracle, like that's the best way I can describe it. It always is going to speak to something. It's always going to be what you need, right? Because this is an experience you're engaged in. Once you're engaged in the experience, this is for you. Now, if you get the experience of like, well, that doesn't mean anything to me, and that's your experience. And that's where that's what you can learn from. That's how you can engage with it in that moment. That's what you need. It's no, like, I don't take anything personal. I don't, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's okay. I don't mind. So if you're familiar with the Tao or not, I would love to invite you up to chat a little bit about the Tao Te Ching. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a number. We'll just go, 72 popped into my mind. And then I said, no. But then I was like, nope, that's the experience I had. Let's just go to 72. With nothing to teach. Burp, burp, burp. Here I am reading with nothing to teach, right? Like, because maybe I got a little preachy there. I don't know. But I do have to make sure that I'm keeping myself in line with Tao at every moment as well. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm here to embrace this experience that I'm having. So, number 72, the knowledgeable have lost their sense of awe. Sorry. The knowledgeable, having lost their sense of awe, seek to be entertained. Losing themselves in that process, they turn to more knowledgeable authorities. Do not make light of what is important to people, and they will respect you. Therefore, the master, although she knows herself, she is not arrogant. She loves herself as she is, but she also loves others as they are. She has nothing to teach, and the knowledgeable have nothing to learn. This is an interesting verse. I read this with somebody that used to be on the Wisdom app not long ago. Her and her dad chose this and we started chatting a little bit about it. This is a cyclical thing, right? So if you are not trying to be knowledgeable, and like the idea is, why do you want to be knowledgeable, right? Where is that coming from? Is that coming from you, or is that coming from a society and parents and other things that you're living under the influence of? So the knowledgeable, having lost their sense of awe, seek to be entertained. Now, how do the knowledgeable entertain themselves? Right? Well, sure, they could go axe throwing, things like that, and just escape into the abyss of not being knowledgeable. Right? We can see that sort of entertainment in individuals who have, have degrees, but don't really do anything with them, right? Like they have degrees, but they go out and they have, they just have debauchery in their lives. And then they just kind of fill out their lives with entertainment. So they're educated, they're knowledgeable, but they found no meaning in the knowledgeability, in having the knowledge. They found no substance, no purpose. And so because they don't have substance or purpose, they escape and they go to be entertained. Now, there's another type of knowledgeable, the people who have found purpose in their having knowledge, right? Academics and other individuals who will put themselves above others with their knowledge. They're like, oh, I know so much, and they run around in their lives and utilize their knowledge to give themselves a boost and give themselves value. And that's another way that the knowledgeable can be entertained. Now, the text here, of course, it's my translation. But it goes to how you're experiencing it. This is how I'm sort of seeing it at this moment. Losing themselves in that process, they turn to more knowledgeable authorities. Okay. So that line, losing themselves in that process, in the process of having lost their sense of awe, having lost their sense of what life is, and they're out there being entertained by their own, by boosting themselves up, being entertained by the pacifying of their lives, being entertained by all sorts of things. They lose themselves. They're under the influence of so many other things. They've lost the sense of themselves. So they turn to more knowledgeable authorities, whether it's knowledgeable on the entertainment that they're looking to engage with, or if it's knowledge about the topics that they're interested in, whether it's knowledge, whatever it is, they look to learn from other people. If we look out at society today, how many of you would consider yourself knowledgeable, and how many of you go onto Google looking for answers to things? Right? So you're knowledgeable, lost your sense of awe in yourself, in the spirit within you, and then you start relying on Google and books and other people to guide you through your life. Right? Like even like maybe Noom Vibe, right? Like hearing people talk on here give you answers to what you are supposed to be doing in your life. Well, trust me, you are much more knowledgeable about who you are and what you need than anybody else. And yet, because we have a society of people who praise the knowledgeable, we want to be able to reference things. We want to be able to say, oh, I heard this I was listening to NPR and I read this and I did this. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you're knowledgeable. Now, having said all of that, we move into this really important line that always kind of turns this verse on its head. Right? Do not make light of what is important to people, and they will respect you. When you seek to be entertained, when you go out of your way to be knowledgeable, you're doing that to put yourself above others in some way. As you're doing that, you're making light of that which other people are becoming knowledgeable about, are doing, are experiencing. And that is where this one says, like, there's nothing to teach. Stop thinking there's anything to teach. Let people be where they are. Let them throw the axes. Let them continue to fill their minds with education, because eventually they are going to find their way back to Tao. They have to, because we can't carry that much. We can't carry that much information always, all the time. And we see it, I'm approaching 50, and one of the things that I've recognized in the world is that it's just a cycle, and everybody's going through it. And there's no real, the point is the experience that I'm having right now. It's not in the manifestation. It's not out there in the world. The point, it doesn't exist out there in the world. It exists for us, as we are embracing. Kinsley Yang is in the queue, and I'm going to bring them up. We can come back to 72 if Kinsley wants to pick a number, or if they want to speak on what I'm talking about. Kinsley, how are you? Kinsley? And no. Kinsley decided that this wasn't what you wanted to do. Kinsley, if you did want to step up, please do. I'd love to hear from you. And if you wanted to pick a number between 1 and 81, I'd be happy to do that. Wandering Fool is coming in. Oh, good. Hello. It has been a minute.
It has. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing.
Well, that's better than not. Well, I don't know. Maybe not doing is better, but I don't know.
I'm doing the living thing. Let's call it that part.
That's good.
I got it's been an interesting time period lately. I've just been like, that's interesting. That's the only way I can describe it. And that's the
Yeah.
only way I just look at things like, that's interesting. And I just continue on.
That's just observing, and that's the best you can do with life. Just like, oh, look at that. That's interesting. Like, oh man, look at that. Look at that happen. Look at me do this. That's when it really gets interesting. When you're just like, oh my God, look at what I'm doing. Like, look at I didn't know I was going to do this. I didn't know this was going to be what I did today. And here I am doing it. And I'm just observing it. I'm just watching myself, go shopping, or I'm watching myself pacify, or I'm watching myself clean the floor. It's just like, oh, look at me. Look at this body doing this thing. Look at this mind thinking this.
Yeah. It's starting to get kind of funny. I'm just like, da 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 da. I was like, am I finally finding aloofness? What is this? That a thing? Okay, we got something here.
Good. Well, let's pick a number and see if we have any direction there.
Let's go with 15.
15, 1, 5. Ancient Tao. Now this is beautiful because of what we just spoke about, and it's a little longer. It is one of the longer ones, but I'm gonna read it quick, but with some emphasis to see if we can kind of get in there. The ancient master's ability to comprehend the mystery was so profound and subtle that they were misunderstood. One could only describe how they must have appeared. Careful as someone hearing ice crack midway through crossing a lake. Observant as someone surrounded by toxic threats. Curious as a guest in awe of our host. Unpretentious as a felled branch in a wood. Vacant as someone staring into space. Dull as a man with nothing to boast about. Can you be still, adding nothing until the mud settles and it gives you the opportunity to see clearly? Can you be still until, on its own accord, the next action presents itself to you? The master has no need for herself. She doesn't seek or expect attention. Not needing to appease herself, she has no requests.
Hmm. Learning to not appease yourself is a good one. That's tough. That's the part that like stuck.
That's the part that what? I'm sorry, you broke up, I think.
That's the part that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, not needing to appease herself. You
Mm.
know, that's that observant part that you were talking about. That's like, huh, that's interesting. It's not like you have to go out and serve your life. Your life is here to serve you. And when you need to appease yourself, you need to go out and get from the outside world. You know,
Yeah.
it needs to be done in a certain way. You need to be expected or appreciated in certain ways. But when you don't need to appease yourself, you don't need to, you know, I love it when people ask me questions they sort of know the answer to, but they want to hear me like pat them on the back. It's kind of like, I'm a good person, right? And then you're like, well, really, like, what does good mean, right? You start having to, because it's like, yeah, I mean, you're good in some things that you do, sure, but like a good person, what does that mean to you? It's just like they're like, I did a bad thing, but I'm a good person, and I need to be appeased in that, and so I'm gonna look out to the world. I'm gonna look out at the world and see where I can be appeased. And it's like, no, observing who you are, knowing you're a bitch, or knowing you're an ass, sometimes that's okay. That's actually really, really healthy because you're not a good person. Not you personally. I mean, I'm sure you're fine, but like there's also times where you're a bitch. But it's important to like not have to appease that, not have to be like, I am this identity. That way, and as it says here, she has no requests. You don't have requests of other people. You don't have requests of life. Life is going to give you everything. Now, are you open enough to receive it?
Mhm. Are you open enough to receive it?
And the beginning of this piece is really interesting as well, and it connects to all of this. The ancient master's ability to comprehend the mystery was so profound and subtle, they were misunderstood. When you go out in the world and you're just observing, and just like, and then you talk about being aloof or finding that ability to just be present. Many people who toil every day for money or for success or for titles or whatever, they're going to misunderstand you. They're going to think you are misguided. And they need to teach you the ways of toiling so that you can toil alongside them. But when you can release that and just kind of observe, when you can release that and be like, oh, no, how interesting. Look at that. Like that's when you're kind of getting closer and closer to being at one with yourself. Because you're just like, oh, look at this life I'm living.
Mm. It's really, really cool. And it was a James Bond quote that stuck with me majority of my. Someone asked him, "What is your dream job?" And it was so funny because he was like, "Darling, I do not dream of labor."
Hmm.
And I hear that, like, ooh, 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 ooh. What do you mean you don't dream of labor? Isn't it the most fun thing they do in the world?
Now you're starting to break up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me well, or if it's just me.
Oh, it's my phone. My phone speaker is starting to go out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah.
Um, but did you say it was a James Bond quote that he doesn't dream of failure or of labor?
James Baldwin.
James Baldwin. Okay, yes, James Baldwin. I was like, I wasn't sure exactly. Yes, I know who James Baldwin is. Wonderful. Yes, that's beautiful. It's
That's
like, wow.
something.
I've always, I remember years and years ago, I was just like, I can't. I would never finish a list of things I don't want to do and places I don't want to go. It's like I don't, and it's interesting, like doing things for others. Like that's such an interesting paradox that we have created. Like that's not a natural thing. Life is like you experience your life. So many of our lives today are banked on I need to be able to be hired by someone else so I can have a job or so I can. It's like, no, man, like life is here for you to enjoy. The other day, someone asked me, "Oh, what are you up to these days?" And I looked at him like confused, and I was like, I don't know, kicking about. I don't know. I'm just doing like whatever I do. Like, I mean, I got a contract, and I'm doing some little things here and there, and I'm just hanging out with people and like fixing my house and da da da. But it's like, yeah, my life is full, but I'm not doing anything.
That sounds nice.
It is. And I know I wanted to let you know that my timer is still wonky and you have a minute and a half left on my end. I don't know if after that you're going to still be able to talk or if it's going to kick you out or not. So we'll just keep going. I just wanted you to know, like, if it kicks you out, and I don't know what's wrong. It's just some glitch that I've been having with my device and this app.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of it. I just
Okay.
wanted to stop in and say hello.
Well, I'm glad you did. Thank you so much. It just seems like I'm doing these more often, so I hope we can chat again soon.
Yeah, I'll pop up.
I would love that.
I just like the philosophy of it. It's a very interesting philosophy.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, it is and it is a philosophical text, I mean, it did spawn a religion, but I don't think that it was written with that intent.
yeah, when I listen to it, it doesn't sound like that. It just sounds as if it's like a manual, not necessarily a complete way of life. Just these are a few things. Here you
Yeah.
go.
Keep them in mind. Yeah.
That's what it
I-
sounds like.
right. Yeah. And it's interesting because this was written 600 years before Jesus, right? And I had someone come on not long ago and talk about, you know, he's not afraid to die because he has Jesus. And I was like, well, this is what this is talking about. And we had that same sort of experience 600 years, like it was written 600 years before Jesus. And so everybody that even I even think before this was written, there was just this idea of pointing to this thing, and then there was a dissolving of things, and then we all started pointing to one thing that was pointing to the thing. Dr. Rao talks about it really well, where he talks about, Tao or Brahman is the screen on which the movie is playing. When you're watching the movie, you can't decipher the screen. And that's what we're pointing at, is the screen. That is life. What's being projected on it, that's not that's not what you pay attention to. That's not what you meditate on. That's just distraction. That's just a thing that's telling you a screen exists if you can see past it. And that's that is the true sort of nature of everything. And that's always been there. And so to think that animals don't know it and our deep ancestors don't know it, that's a bit much. I got Julie and Terry. I believe Terry's first because he was on the bottom. I think that's how it works. I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to go with Terry. Terry, how are you?
I do believe that's how it works, Martin John, but I won't take long anyway because I just want to. I love the fact of your wonky timer because it's a classic metaphor that all our perceptions and realities are different to each
That's
other.
right. That's right. It's beautiful.
I love it, and and expectations. Now, when
you went mute. If you got a call, or if you're still listening, and
Didn't get a
I'm
call.
going to give you like a.
The
There you
universe,
go.
the universe throw me into another talk.
Yeah, just like no, you're not going to talk about this.
Oh yes, isn't it funny? And I always find it interesting when technology interferes when between a conversation. It's quite
I love it.
interesting.
I'm always, because so everything is energetic, and we, like I have a lot of, and Julie's in the room, and so she knows that I'm a electric universe guy, and so if the universe is electric and communicates that way and moves that way, um, then we are, like we are being communicated with.
Yes, and I love the fact that we still don't fully understand electricity,
Right.
and you could call it electrickery in actual.
Ooh. You Brits and
Ah,
your word games.
yeah. I mean, you see, that is the beauty of language. You know,
Yeah.
why express it the same way as everybody else when you can be your unique self, as we all know. And yeah, I loved when you were talking about how people come up to you and they might not have seen you for a while, say, and they say, "Oh, what are you doing these days?" You know. And yeah, it's great. I loved your perplexion at why they're asking me this,
Yeah.
because it's expectation, isn't it? They're expecting you to say, "Oh, I've got this career now. I'm doing this,"
And
And
that was the tone that he had. It was just like, so
yeah,
what are you doing? And
mm,
I'm like, oh, nothing. I don't know. Like, what I'm always doing. I was just being me. I don't know. Like, it
yeah,
was, it was, it, like if someone were to come up to me, oh, what are you up to? I'd be like, oh, my house, that, that, that. But there was this whole like weighted expectation of,
I know.
well,
It's so it's so tiresome when you get the same random thing. It's a bit like when I mean we do it as a social nicety. Oh, how are you? How are you? But it's a waste of time in another way. And what's the other thing I was thinking of here? Yeah, now this is a Bruce Lee quote, which I like to use from time to time. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. Yeah, and you're not in this world to live up to mine. So
right.
with that, I'll drop down and let Judy come up. Thanks, Martin John.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming up. And next time, Terry, we're gonna pick a number, man. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah,
Julie, my love, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I went out for
I
a
am.
little drive today.
You're out for a drive. Look
Well,
at you.
I did. I did go out for a drive. I took my little charge, who I've got now. It's a lovely little dog. He's 12 years old,
Wait,
and
now? Are you dog watching, or is this your
I
dog?
no, I'm dog watching.
Okay,
I
because I
don't.
was like, what the hell just happened?
No, I would get a dog. Good God, no. No, I'm a cat woman. I have to say. But anyway, I've got this little dog at the minute, and this sitter arrived just as I required it. I didn't
Good.
ask. I just let the DAO do its thing,
It
and
does. It's
it
like you
brought
don't
me.
have to ask. The idea that God or Tao or whatever doesn't know what we need is ridiculous. Like that
Yeah,
is
I
just
agree.
that's such a silly idea.
I agree with that completely. So we just, just cruise. We cruise. So we cruised for a little while along the coast a few times. I did the streaking thing again, which
Yep,
I
yep,
love
yep.
doing.
Saw that.
Uh,
I ain't gonna miss that.
no, too right. No, you shouldn't. I'm not going to shit on you or anything, but but yeah, it's lovely. I enjoyed that. So we did that. We did a big few van nights in the van and got used to basics. And then every time we go to a house where there's flushing toilets and running taps and things like washing machines, I'll tell you, we make good use of those
I
things, and
bet.
we're totally grateful. So here I am. I've taken this little dog out in the van because he lives in a little bit of a kind of suburbia area. And I thought, I don't want to walk him about the footpath,
Right.
sniffing walls and driveways. I thought I'd take him out to the woods. So I did. I took him out to the woods,
Nice.
and he enjoyed it. Did you hear him have a little snap at me then? Because I touched
I
his
did,
head.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He's all right. But if you approach him the wrong way, he gets a bit, tells you off, basically.
Yeah, my cat does the same.
But he's all right. As soon as it's done, it's done. He's told me off. Don't touch that bit. Don't like it. And then he's back to being beautiful again. But anyway, we took him for a walk in the woods, and he enjoyed it. And
Good.
then we brought him back and chilled out. And then you came on, and I went, I'm going to pick a number because
Yeah,
I
let's
do that
pick a
sort of thing.
number, man.
Yeah, we need numbers. Numbers are good. So I'm just going to close my eyes for a minute and say 27.
27.
Mm.
That is, I picked 72 today, so that's the reverse of that. Okay.
That's amazing.
Oh, and this is such a Julie 27. The mystery of the process.
Mm.
Although a good traveler may have plans, they are not rigid, nor is the outcome. Although a good artist creates, the creations are arrived at through intuition. Although a good scientist observes, it is done for the first time, every time.
Mm-hmm.
By embodying these strategies, the master accepts everyone and makes use of every situation, especially laundry. Nothing is wasted, and every moment is imbued with light.
It's wonderful.
What is the good if not a vision for the bad? What
Correct.
is the bad if not a lesson for the good? Accept this completely, or you will suffer in all you do. It is the great secret.
Yeah, the secret of being humble.
Yes. And present. We start this, like this idea of good and bad, like we actually define good in the first 3 lines, although a good traveler, a good artist, and a good scientist, right? A good traveler isn't someone that has every moment mapped out, although they might. They are, the plans aren't rigid, nor is the outcome. Who cares? Like all those people that are in the airport arguing because the flight is delayed and all this stuff, rather than being here in the moment in the airport right now.
Yeah.
A good artist creates, but the creations are arrived at through intuition. Now this doesn't mean that they don't sketch things out. They do, but as they sketch it out, as they step up, the intuition can keep them attached. Now, if they're just executing, then that's a different thing. Is that creative? Or is it just a job?
Yep.
Although the good scientist observes, it's done for the first time, every time. That means you're not bringing yesterday's observations into today. I was talking to someone recently, and I forget who. It was my my naturopath. And he was talking about when he was in his studies, he did research and he observed things, and his superior told him, no, you're getting the wrong results.
Interesting.
And had him redo it 3 different times because it didn't match his theory. This man was not what we would consider a good scientist because he is not observing at all. He came up with an idea and now he wants it supported.
That's right. There's a lot of that, Martin John. There's a lot of that. I want it supporting.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't do that, then it's not. I'm not.
I'm not gonna publish it. I'm not going to agree with it. I'm not, and I'm just gonna turn my nose up at it.
Yeah.
So after we define those, in the end here, we say, what is the good if not a vision for the bad? What is the bad if not a lesson for the good? How do you see that?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Equilibrium. You need both. You need both because if you don't experience what you decide is bad, and when you come across the good, you won't fully experience that either. But the other thing is it's totally about how you view a thing. Is it bad? Or is it just not what you expected or what you believe is good?
Right.
So bad things, they're terrible things. But are they that terrible?
Right.
Or is it just that I've decided to label them terrible or bad?
Absolutely. And that's where, what is the bad if not a lesson for the good? It's something that I can experience so that I can be like, oh, now I've done something, or I've engaged in something that I experienced, and now I can put that into the bucket of all of my experiences.
Yeah,
And then what is the good if not a vision for the bad? It's like that bad,
absolutely.
that right? Like that's this is nice. Let's put more of this into this bucket of experience.
Yeah.
And then it ends with this really cutting quote of, accept this completely or you will suffer in all you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will be putting things on a graph rather than in a bucket of all the same thing. You won't recognize it as all being you. You will see it as, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this is what I want, this is not what I want.
I kind of agree with that. I think also it kind of comes down to, if you are, if you don't kind of like accept all really on equilibrium, then you are going to really find no value in anything.
Right.
No value in anything at all.
Right.
It's going to be
And
no meaning, no feeling, no experience really gained, is there? I
right.
wouldn't think so, because as soon as you say something is bad, then we tend to try and avoid that kind of experience again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And avoidance is not a great thing, because
No.
it will come back to bite you in the ass. Believe me, I know
Always
this.
does. Yeah.
And good things the same. If you're going to say something is ultimately good, that allows no kind of growth for anything better, does it?
Right. Then that's what you're shooting for.
That's right. So you're limiting yourself.
That's right.
You're limiting the experience of Tao, because Tao is, and it's going to bring to you whatever.
That's right.
You don't get to choose, love. People have this wonderful idea, and I've been one of those people in the past that thinks that I get to choose. No, I don't. I'm traveling in Tao.
That's right. And it's going to, like, you're going to meet up with everything along your path.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, it's not like you get to be like, I want this and I don't want that. I mean, you can say that, but once again, you're going to suffer in all that you do.
That's right.
As
Like
soon as you
singing to
start to
myself,
engage.
I've not got any more sits. Oh my gosh, I've got no more sits. I've got nobody booked in. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What a dumb thing to do, because, as I said, when you stop thinking that way, things just arrive, because you get to be open enough to see it
Yeah.
coming your way. You get to see the opportunities that way.
Yeah. Now, you just cut out. Lois is in line, but if you wanted to come and wrap anything up, I would love to have you come up. All right. Well, we'll move right on to Lois. Thank you. Yes, I am totally in agreement. Julie, it's always wonderful to talk with you. Love you. How you doing, Lois?
Hey, Marjan, how you doing?
I am well.
What number did you just read?
27,
Okay, all right. And what number did you read before Julie?
72.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to know. Anyway, how you doing? Because I'm picking my number and I'm trying to decide which one to get. Okay.
Well, if doubling up isn't always bad, but I'm well. Yesterday, I was on someone's call, and they said that they re-met with you. I forget who this was. Perceptions, was it? No, it was. I was on someone's talk yesterday. I tried to get on, and he was talking about
Hmm.
Chicago and New York, and I forget what, but he had said that you guys had re-met each other, and I was really happy to hear that. I don't know through what, but it was.
Ooh, who? Wait, who? Where? Look.
Yeah, no,
We met somebody. I know I've met Daryl, I've met you, I've met Christian, I met
the
who's
fake
that guy?
imposter. Who is the
Who?
fake imposter?
Oh yes. I hadn't talked to him in a long time because
Oh,
because you know how when the app first started, I'm a person who loves seeing people accomplish their dreams and goals. So I'm a great supporter of people. So I go and look, I do you. I go to people's stages and I get to
yeah,
be a regular because I love supporting people. And so
absolutely.
when he was first on as the fake imposter, he wasn't getting a whole lot of people coming up there. So I just started going up there messing with him and
Oh,
saying,
good.
"Hey, da, 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 da." You know me,
Yeah, I
just
do.
trying to help people get what they got done. And then I talked to him for the first time again. I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and it was pretty cool because I hadn't talked to him since I had poked and did what I
Oh,
kind of
right.
like poked the bear, like, well, it's like dry air. You know how somebody, well, when you're in a room and you want somebody to come and engage with you, and then nobody's coming.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I don't like seeing people like that. I'll go and
Like
I'll
flailing out there in the open
yes, and I'll
like
say,
a
"Oh,
like.
wait! I heard your call. I answered. Hey,
Yeah.
you were hello." But that's Lois. That's
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just being Lois.
That's
Yeah, fake imposter. I haven't met him personally in face to face.
oh.
But I did. Yeah, I
Well,
really
apparently
correlated
he's
with
in
him on the app.
Chicago, so he and I might cross paths at some point. I don't know.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. I would want to know with a gauge of authenticity. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you know me. You know
I
me,
do.
Martin
I do.
John. Okay, I'm
But
anything authentic.
he said he's in Chicago, and you know me. I'm a
Yeah.
greeter.
Yes, and that's what I was on his show. I was like a greeter. Hey, how you doing? I know
Yeah.
you're new to the app. Yay! Oh, I like this talk. Da, 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 da. Hey, you back again? And then that's what I was doing when he was first coming back, and then he stopped coming around. Well, it's a lot of people that stopped coming on,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. And then I didn't want them to think, oh well, Lois is the only one gonna come and talk to me. So I wouldn't. Sometimes I don't go, but anyway. What I was thinking, because yesterday we did my daughter's birth age that she would have been. So let's say, because today is actually the anniversary of me becoming a mother for the second time. And at that time, I was 28 years old. You said you did 28 years old.
Yeah.
Or
28.
26, 26. I'm like, I can't do the math. I was trying to do the math while we was talking, but it ain't working. The math ain't mapping right now. But I think 26 and 62. The difference is 36. So yeah, that's right. 26, number 26, because that's how old I was when I birthed my second one. And it's like, I know she's here with me today because we already had a little skin prickly type of time already in this room. But
Oh.
yeah, I just want to know what that one says, because I heard, Mom, I'm not there for you to celebrate me, but you can celebrate becoming a mom for the second time at this age. And I was like, oh. Well, that's a good one. So today I'm gonna take myself out and I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna buy a little cake and I'm gonna
Oh.
celebrate being, because I miss Brianna. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I miss my baby. Okay. But I know that there's things that I can do that she will love, and that she will be with me. If I don't drive her car, she's with me. That's one reason why I won't sell a lot of her stuff, because her energy is still with it. And every time I use it or wear it, I can feel her vibration even higher. That's how psychics do that when they say you have an object of the departed.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, number 26 is great for this because it's
Okay.
called wasted movement, and you don't waste movement. And what this says is, without knowing darkness, light is mysterious and distracting. Without knowing stillness, all movement is wasted. This is why the master travels and never leaves home. No matter how amazing the manifestation, she knows there is nothing she is not. Why should she seek to be influenced or entertained? If you let yourself be entertained, you lose touch with your root. If you let yourself be influenced, you lose touch with who you are. What I see in that is, and with what you're saying, is like leaving home, when it references that, is like, it's not like your physical home. It's like leaving who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like your daughter, passed away, but that doesn't mean that you aren't still here to carry and to have that relationship.
That's true.
No matter how amazing the manifestation, she knows there is nothing she is not. You are
Mm-hmm.
your daughter as well.
Yeah.
And you are that experience. No matter how amazing it is that she was here in the manifestation, she is still here within you.
Yes. Always, always. And that's the comforting part. And that's what I try to comfort other people who have had people transition. I make sure I encourage them. I encourage them that it may not stick, not to call it a lost. Because nothing is lost in the kingdom. You can't be lost in energy. Energy is everywhere around you all the time, and it's always there for you. You just got to be at the right vibration to deal with some other energetic stuff. But I try to tell people, it's never nothing's lost in the kingdom. Nothing is lost anywhere because it's always here. We just need not be tuned into the frequency of it, but it's still here, and that's why I love laughing. I love doing things that keep my vibration high because as long as I'm tuned into the vibration of the energy, I can still feel my mama, my daddy, my daughter, my
Mm.
brothers, my ex fiance, because I had a lot of people transition, lot, because I'm a little older, so I've had a lot of people transition. A lot of those transitions happened at an early age, so I hate to say this, but I've gotten used to death
No.
and dying.
Well, that's
Okay,
what
I
it
know
says
that
right at the
sounds weird.
beginning. Without knowing darkness, light is
Yeah.
mysterious and distracting. You're not distracted by it anymore. It's not
No.
mysterious. You understand that this is just part of it.
Yes. It's part of the yin and the yang. It's part of that polarized thing. If I ask for wealth, poor is on the other end of that. If
Right.
I ask for health, sick is on the other end of that. And I guys
Mm-hmm.
got to know that on that pole, it can go all the way to something I don't want, or all the way to something I'd be totally ecstatic with. But I get to choose on which end of that pole I pick up at any given time when those thoughts roll through. Them 6,000 thoughts we have a day roll through my mind. I get to choose which ones I entertain, and I choose to entertain the ones that uplift me and keep me at peace and stay vibrating and keep me in harmony with nature, with myself, and with everybody else in my environment. So to me, it's kind of like this. Yeah, this was a good one because I can't sit up and say, I know she here. I have no doubt because I wouldn't have been told, oh, go on Martin John and pick this number because you were a mother. This so because I wasn't thinking nothing like that.
Right.
Celebrate myself today, okay, Mama.
That's right.
I'm not here, but you celebrate you because you became a great mother for the second time, and I had never thought of it like that. I really didn't.
And
Now
that's
I
the
thought of it.
and by being able to do this, by being able to do that, you don't lose touch with your root and you don't lose touch with who you are. And that's where we kind of end this. Like, why
Yeah,
should anyone seek to be influenced or entertained? You're just enjoying you and your life.
yeah.
So you're in touch with your root. You're in touch with who you are. You're not losing that because your movement isn't wasted. Why? Because you have seen and embraced the darkness. You have seen and embraced the stillness.
And it's a beautiful thing to see and embrace both the dark and the light, and then to fully integrate them into who you
Absolutely.
are, so that you are no longer moved by circumstance. I love where I'm at. Oh my
Oh,
God, actually, I
right.
get so grateful for where I'm at right now because not being moved by circumstance. Marvin John, this is like Martin John. This is like I don't know. I called you
I
Marvin.
don't know. That's all
Maybe I
right.
need. I know I need to talk to. That's probably because I need to talk to him, um,
Okay.
or he's gonna call because
Yep.
today's Brianna's birthday, and he was like a stepfather to her. But the whole thing is that us being able to tap into who we are and staying immovable, unshaking. Like what that song said, like a bulwark never failing. You're standing so strong, just like. Hey, the winds will come. I'm a blow, and I'm a lean, and I'm a bend. But when it comes down to it, I'm not gonna weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Remember that?
That's right.
And I'm a weeble. I wobble,
That's right.
but I ain't falling down because I fall up. But thank
That's
you,
right.
Martin John. This actually
Absolutely.
gave me more. This made her message she told me this morning even more magnificent. Celebrate me.
Oh,
So that's what I'm going to do today. But I love you, Martin John, and I will
I
talk
love
to you
you, and
soon.
we will be in touch, sweetheart. Thank you all so much for coming. We read 15, 72, 27, and 26 today. Nice set of four wonderful chapters of the Tao. I'm doing these more. I don't know. I'm inspired to, and that's nice. And so maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. I'm not making any promises. We're just going to kind of roll with it as it all unfolds. Thank you so much for joining me for Tao of the Day. Once again, the Tao Te Ching, wonderful text. If you are interested in my text, you can find a way to purchase the book through my profile. Otherwise, this is Martin John, and until next time, keep recovering yourself.